Dispatchers help callers on the worst days of their lives. For over 25 years, we've been there. A silent partner in millions of calls thanks to our redundant and diverse networks that ensure call delivery. Today, cities are bigger, traffic more congested, and the challenge is more complex. But you're never alone, because InDigital is quietly improving, implementing, and driving the next generation of 911, so you're supported in every situation. Make the switch at InDigital.net.
If Within the Trenches has ever taught you something, open your eyes to what it is like to be a 911 dispatcher, or has inspired you to become one, then help support us and join our Patreon. Get exclusive bonus content, one-of-a-kind swag, discounts on merchandise, ad-free early access to new episodes, and much more. To join, please visit patreon.com/WTT podcast. And if you're an industry partner, we have something for you as well. And now, for the show.
This is Jordan, and you're listening to the Code 7 Podcast Network.
Warning. This episode contains the 3 A's of podcasting: adult content, adult language, and awesomeness. You've been warned.
Dispatch.
There is no one over here to cook our lunch. We are waiting for our lunch, and there's no one here to cook our lunch.
All right, calm down. Where are you at?
The group home. Now, what are you going to do?
We'll get some help over there for you, okay?
Welcome to Open Mic, where we visit the lighter side of dispatch, because laughing is good medicine. Yo, what is going on? This is Ricardo with the Code 7 Podcast Network, and we are getting started with Open Mic Live. I know it has been a couple weeks, and usually we do this on a Sunday. It is Monday today. Monday, March 31st. Tomorrow is April Fool's Day. There's a reason that we haven't been doing this on the normal schedule. We're going to get to all of that here, but this live broadcast is sponsored by InDigital, a leader next gen core services. Big shout out to subscribers as always. Thank you all very, very much. And I'm just excited to be back here with all of you. I am live over here on Facebook, YouTube, X, as well as Instagram, and then right here with all of you on TikTok. Good evening, Meg. Good evening. How are you doing? How's it going? Man, it has been a couple weeks. Woof. A lot of stuff going on. We have a lot to cover, a lot to talk about. But again, as always, one, I'm very happy to be here with all of you. And two, let's check in with everyone, okay? Because like I said, it's been a couple of weeks. Let's see, Meg says doing good, prepping for upcoming shifts, just stopping in. Well, thank you for being here. I'm glad that you're stopping in. Good to see you and everyone else. So, where are you at? Roll call. Where are you watching from? But also, how are you doing? How are you feeling? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being shitty, 10 being awesome, how are you feeling? Are you going to be at APCO in Baltimore? Yes, I will be there, so I will see you there as well. I should be hopefully there with a booth. And I'll be recording episodes with people. I'll have merch and all that good stuff. So I'm excited to go back out there. The last time I was at National APCO in Baltimore, I did the Imagine Listening session. I had 3 actually total sessions for Imagine Listening. And oh, wait, over here. Hello from Florida. I'm a 5. Will you be in Long Beach in June? Yes, I will be out in Long Beach in June. I hope to see you there. I will have a booth as well, all that good stuff. And you're at a 5. So let's see if we can get that number up a little bit by the end of all of this and everything that we're going to be talking about today. Even if it stays the same. If it stays the same, hey, that's all good as well. We are here, and that's what this session is all about. Checking in with each other and just having some fun. Meg, I'm around a 7 or 8. And let's see. Oh, hold on. Yes, I've been to your session twice. at Navigator. Both times it was at National Harbor. Awesome. That is awesome. Yes. And oh, wait, I will be there. Only a 5 due to a kidney stone. Oh, shit. Well, then a 5 is good then. I have, knock on wood, hopefully I never get one, but I've heard they are horrible. So I feel for you. And coming in at a 5, yeah, that's a pretty good number for having a kidney stone. I hope that it gets better fast. Let me look over here. Jason Hill, you are just keeping us on our toes with the crazy schedule. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, dude. Like I usually have it on Sundays, but you will hear in as we go along what has been going on and why I've been having to switch and everything. But doing good, enjoying the day off in Montana, where we don't know if it's spring or winter. Yeah, I feel you there because I too, I'm in a sweatshirt right now, and I feel the same way. And over here on TikTok, I see hearts coming in. Thank you so much for the hearts and reactions for everyone. Share this out. Let's get some more people up in this piece. Brittany over here, Dayton, Virginia, about a 6 right now. Been a long day. Well, hopefully we can even get that number up as well for the 6. So that's awesome. I'm coming in probably at about an 8, even though it has been like yesterday was crazy. And I will tell you the story when we get closer. I've got some stuff that I want to share first, and then that'll be probably the last story that I share. But man, you don't want to miss it because it was something for sure. Holy hell, we had a lot of stuff going on. So let me. This is how much stuff I have to go over. Usually, I write my notes, right? However, I sometimes I'll skip around. Okay. But not this time. Like I have enough in my notes that I'm gonna have to go through the notes. So I have put out episode 595, and I'm going to share a clip from that episode here soon. That was with Dalen. She is a center manager out of Brazoria County in Texas. Superb episode. If you have not checked it out yet, please make sure to do so. That was so much fun, but also powerful story coming from Dalen, and just an amazing human being. So if you have not checked out that episode yet, please make sure to do so. That one was awesome. So that was episode 595. Episode 596 is going to be coming out in 2 days. I'll probably put out the audio tomorrow, and then the video will go live on Wednesday. And I have some clips that I'll be sharing on Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, YouTube, LinkedIn, as well as over here on TikTok. I'll be sharing those as well. So make sure to look out for those. Episode 596, that is with Chase, and she is an IOM professional out of Ohio. And she's got an excellent story as well. Every single one of them, excellent, powerful stories. So make sure to look out for those. And so looking back over here at my notes, if you haven't done so already, and I do apologize for this as well, okay, because I have been traveling like crazy. So tonight and tomorrow and throughout the rest of the week, I am going to be welcoming new members to the free community that I have out there. It's called The Trenches. And so if you're over here, Facebook, YouTube, X, and Instagram, I'm going to put the link in there so that you can join. Again, it is a free community for 911 professionals to go in there and check out. I've got probably over 200 hours worth of continuing education. It's DTBG, Dare to Be Great virtual event 1 through 6. Every single session is there in one place for you. People are joining, connecting, networking, and also all of the rounds from the Dispatchers Roundtable are on there as well. So round 1 through 43. So all of that is there. I'm adding more resources. There's so much more stuff that I'm doing. So make sure to check it out. Again, it's free, and I'll be jumping in there tonight and tomorrow morning and catching up with everyone because there's a lot of people who have joined up. There are people who have been asking questions. So again, a lot of stuff going on there for both of them, and it's free. So make sure to check it out. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun doing all of that. So here we go. The first thing that we're going to be talking about, I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that I was going to be out at the Mayan Ranch. And if you haven't seen it already, I've been posting videos all over my social media about what goes on at the ranch. I posted a video right before I went out there. And then I posted another video with my buddy Joe, who runs it. He's the head of 360 Dispatcher and runs it out of the main ranch in Bandera, Texas. So there's about 40 911 professionals out there. And man, from Monday, the meet and greet, all the way to the end on Friday, we just learned so much from each other. There's so much good stuff going on, all of the sessions. And it was just an excellent time. If you have not had the chance to go out there, please do so. It is something that oh wait, Christy over here, I would love to be able to go out to the main ranch for training. Yes, I would love to see you there. It would be awesome. It is truly from what a lot of people have said and continue to say, and I feel it as well, life altering. There are a lot of different things that happen that you learn, not just from others or the instructors, but about yourself. And a lot of people end up coming away with experiences that they really didn't think that they were going to have, or that it would have that much of an impact. And so that was so much fun being out there with the entire group and with my buddy Joe. And while I was out there, I had a chance to record with my friend Dalen. And that was, episode 595. And I'm going to play that clip here in just a moment. But there were other things that were going on there as well. So here's the thing. There are sessions throughout every single day. And then at the end of the day, there are some activities. There's dinner, of course, and they teach line dancing. They bring in animals. There's so many different things that goes on there. But also on one of those days, we do karaoke. And there are some people who are like in the beginning, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to get up there. And no one is forced to go up there. But here's the thing. A lot of times someone will throw a name out there and the person will be like, no, I don't want to go up there. I have a bad voice. I don't want to go up there. And it's the group who encourages. No one gets forced to go up there or do anything like that. It is more so the encouragement of the group where everyone's like, oh, come on, you'll be great. You'll do it. Or maybe somebody will go up there with the person and then it's a duet or a trio or whichever. And pretty much every single time, almost everyone in the group ends up going up and sings a song. One of the songs that two people did, that was a duet, was the theme song to DuckTales. And it was awesome. It was really cool. I ended up getting up there. I was standing by the bar area, just trying to stay back because I was watching, and I thought, okay, let's see how long it takes for someone to call me out. And they had gone through for a while, probably up to the point where it was now people were doing seconds. And the person who was running it, Micah, who's a good friend of Joe's, he was up there. The dude's hilarious. And he usually he'll be the one that if he is unable to, he'll go, oh, we made eye contact. You're coming up. And someone will go, no, I'm not going to. But then the group goes, yeah, no, you'll be great. You'll be great. And then the person will go, okay. It's just that little bit of encouragement that gets put out there. And people are like, all right, yeah. And you know what? You're here with me. I'm going to go ahead and do this. And it is always fun. So I'm standing there and someone looks back at me and they say kind of loud, when are you going to get up there, Ricardo? And yes, exactly. We do all need encouragement sometimes. And I was like, oh no, I'm just going to spectate. And then everyone's like, come on, Ricardo. I was like, all right, damn it. So it got hot in there. It was cold outside, but it was something. So I took my zip up off and everyone's like, oh, he's taking off his jacket. I was like, it's hot. Okay. It's hot. So I end up going up, and Micah goes, "So what are you gonna sing? What do you want to sing?" And I said, "Let's do The Devil Went Down to Georgia." And it was awesome because one of the attendees there, I would say good friend now, Christina, she was doing the violin and everything with the fiddle, and I was singing it. I was doing it. The devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. He was in a bind because he was way behind. He was willing to make a deal. Oh man, it was so much fun. I got up there and I was just rocking it out. And I will say that a couple ranches ago, I also did Tearing Up My Heart by by NSYNC. And it was mostly because people may or may not know this, but I do, and I haven't done it in a while, and I need to, but I do my own version of carpool karaoke. It's just me though, and I've got my camera set up so that I can do all the angles and everything, and I call it singing badly in my car. And these are songs that I will practice and practice and practice so that when I'm on a back road where there's not any traffic at all, and I'm doing this, I have it down to where I will look into a camera, and do something funny, or look in the other camera or whatever. And then when I go into the editing part of it, it's easier to do the editing, but I have all the camera angles. So a couple ranches ago, I didn't get up there and sing, and I thought, man, there's got to be a song that I can really rock out to. And I was riding around with my daughters. We were running errands, and well, they were running errands with me. And I was telling them this, and we were listening to The Devil Went Down to Georgia, and they said, "Dad, you should do that song." And I said, "You know what? I'm going to practice it. I'm going to practice it, and I'm going to practice it. I'm going to do a singing badly in my car, and then I'll have it down for the next time I go to the ranch." So I've done the song twice now, and it's been a lot of fun. Yep. The devil opened up his case and he said, "I'll start this show," and fire flew from his fingertips as he rosined up his bow. And he pulled the bow across the strings and it made an evil hiss. And a band of demons joined in and it sounded something like this. Oh, so stupid. But it's so fun. That's the thing, is that because everyone is there, you go through the day training, right? You go through the day for all of these different classes, the different discussions, like all of the stuff that's going on. And then you regroup with everyone in the saloon and you're just chilling and listening to music. And it is just an excellent time. Now, if you happen to go or you want to go, here's the thing, is you got to be kind of watching social media, because those they end up filling up a year in advance. No shit. About a year in advance is when they start filling up. So as soon as you see it pop up on social media, mostly Facebook, that there's openings for the three that they do. So it's March, September, and November. Jump on it. Jump on it. It is definitely worth it. I'm a regular instructor there now, and it's always a blast. It's always a lot of fun. So make sure to jump on that. It was so good. One of the nights, I was outside with a few folks, Haley, Beth, and we were out there talking, and also my good friend Nancy. And as we were talking, there was a lot of different things we were talking about. It was from public speaking to sharing different ideas to talking about boundaries. And one of the things that I said after I said it, I was like, well, I'm going to hang on to that. Basically, what I said was, and this is, I I typed it into my phone to make sure that I remembered it. But what I said was about boundaries. If you don't learn to say no, you will always be on. And it's just a switch, no and on. Again, if you don't learn to say no, you will always be on. And that's true. That is very true. Because I myself, and probably like a lot of you, have had to learn to say no. I mean, that's part of self-care too, man, because there's a lot of fucking vampires out there that will just simply suck the life out of you if you let them. So remember that. If you don't learn to say no, you will always be on. Oh, snaps over here. Leah, what's going on, Leah? Scott, hello. Sending some brotherly love from Arkansas. What is going on? All right. We got even more people coming in. But yeah, it's something, man. When you are going through just life in general, it happens. So, one last time, if you don't learn to say no, and as we're talking about boundaries, if you don't learn to say no, you will always be on. And I've had to learn that myself. So keep that one. We went through the rest of the week. Again, just having so much fun and learning so many things from each other. It was also we did something different this time. Usually it's on a Friday. Oh, Kristen checking in from Jeffcom 911 in Colorado. What up? What is going on? And usually on Friday is when we do Imagine Listening to close it out completely. But this time we switched it to be Thursday evening, because then Thursday evening people are able to decompress with each other, not just from like the snacks and everything, and then dinner, but more so because Thursday night is when we do the karaoke, and we're all together in that time. And man, that Imagine Listening session, they're all very heavy and powerful. And then of course the open mic piece with all of the lighthearted stories that kicks in. And when I ask, who's ready to laugh, everyone immediately is like, yes, please, let's laugh, because we just went through such an emotional 30, sometimes 40 minutes of people sharing those hard stories. And it's tough, man. But the thing that was amazing, and the thing that I've seen every single time in an Imagine Listening session, is other dispatchers who are reaching out to each other, or patting somebody on the back, or giving someone a hug and saying, we're here with you, we're here for you. Sometimes also folks they don't know each other, but we're connected because of that storytelling, because we know. And it's hard to explain. If you have been in an Imagine Listening session, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it was something. We got to the funny part, we did the funny part, and you could see everyone just at the end of it, when we were done, people were just and then talking with each other. And later on, like, some of the folks were telling me, like, yeah, when we left that last session, man, like, we were all just talking and hanging out and just being there for each other. And I was like, that is what it's all about. And I've been doing it for just over 8 years now. Holy shit. Leo over here says, I've been binging Imagine Listening episodes lately. They are rough. Will you be recording one at the Navigator Conference in April? I won't be recording an Imagine Listening episode there in April, but I will be recording episodes with folks that are there. So who knows? We might have stories either way that are coming in. I'm excited to be there either way. I'm going to be in a panel actually on the 17th at the Navigator Conference. It'll be myself and a couple other folks that are there. One from Dispatch in Depth, Becca, who's with IAD, and then Meredith is going to be there as well. And she has a podcast called Tell Me Exactly. So the three of us are going to be in a panel, and we're going to be talking about the different things that we do, why we do it, how it started and such. And then with the audience, we are going to be doing some stuff that I'm just going to leave at that for now. Because we'll be talking more about it soon. We actually have a meeting tomorrow to talk about it. Let's see. Leah says, I listened to an older episode today where a dispatcher took a call and her cop father just happened upon the scene as she was taking the call. So crazy. I've listened to Tell Me Exactly also. Cool. Yeah. So there are some stories on there, whether it be Imagine Listening or even Open Mic, that are unbelievable. Ones that you would not think would happen. So that's that stuff that's going on, everything that was going on at the ranch and such. And as I mentioned before, I was there and I spoke with my friend Dalen, and we recorded episode 595, which was really cool to do as well. We used the over here in the big camera, you can't see it, but over here on TikTok, I've got, well, let's see, I'll go like this. There it is, DJI. I don't know, I added a second eye. What the hell? We used these mics, these wireless mics, and I just used my phone to record it. Like, that's how portable I took it, and it ended up being awesome. It was superb. The quality was great. But also, if you have watched the actual video part of that episode, there twice you will see a peacock walking around in the background. Seriously, if you have not seen it yet, it's right in the background. We were talking and I was trying not to look at it. And Christy, she's like, that's awesome. Like, yes, the peacock was just like walking around and like slowly walks around. And I'm like, that's going to be in the camera for sure. And also there was a lady out there who was cleaning up the pavilion that we were in, and she walks by a couple times. And then again, the peacock comes back around, and that time, like, you see me sitting like this, but through like peripheral, I was watching that thing because all I could think was, that fucking peacock is going to end up attacking us. It's going to jump up, or it's going to do something crazy. It didn't happen, but I was waiting for it. Oh man, this is so crazy. Let's see, Scott over here says it definitely ties people together, especially at conference. There is something magical that happens when people have tragedy slash revisit tragedy together, and then are able to share some laughter together. Kind of true about life with trials. Yes, they can make us stronger if you let it. Yes, exactly. Yes, if you let it. And of course, folks that are ready, because sometimes people aren't ready to share, but they're there in support of each other, and eventually they are ready. And again, that's what it's all about. And that's what I love about doing Imagine Listening, and the years that I've done Imagine Listening. I just love it. So what I want to do here is I want to share a clip really quick over here on TikTok. You won't be able to see it. I do have it posted already. So I'm going to put my headphones down here by the microphone so that you can at least hear it. But for everybody else, it's going to go up on the big screen over here. One day, hopefully one day, TikTok will have a way for me to port everything in, and then I won't have multiple devices all over the place. If you could only see what it looks like on my end, it's a lot. You would think I'm sitting in dispatch right now with my consoles and everything else, because it just looks gnarly on my end here. So let me Let me pull this up really quick. And all right, let me switch the audio, turn off the main mix versus the mix minus. All right, here we go. For anybody who's out there, who's watching and listening, and is, I don't know, on the fence about talking to somebody about whatever they're going through, whether it be domestic violence or just their mental health and wellness in general, what would you say to someone who's watching and listening right now?
You are not alone. And that phrase is kind of coined for certain like police, community care programs or whatever. But I mean it in all genuinity. We were having a conversation before this. It's like when someone's going through something really hard and they internalize it and we're trying to figure it out on our own, we feel like we're the only ones going through it.
Yes.
We feel like our brains tricked us into thinking that we shouldn't talk about this to anybody because we'll either receive judgment or we'll be a burden to them. And I'm a helper. I'm not a burden.
Yeah.
Right? My identity stems from me being able to help people. So if I need help, that means I'm not helping. But that's actually completely false. It's completely false. What you're going through, it might help bolster another person's leadership skills to help you through that. It might help bolster their knowledge. It might help encourage them that we actually have trust to talk about hard things. And so what I would say is you're not alone. You are not the only person.
There you have it. Powerful words from Dalen. And again, that is episode 595. If you haven't already, make sure to check that out. That is an excellent one. All right, there we go. Had to switch the windows back over here on this thing. On this side, for whatever reason, wasn't popping up. But that was an excellent episode. Again, make sure to check it out. I already have episode 596 coming up. And Leah, yes, just about at episode 600, an epic episode that's going to be coming up. I'm already getting things figured out. And I've got a surprise. And you are going to love it. That's all I'm going to say. Make sure to stay tuned for that one. But to my good friend Dalen, thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for coming on and being on an episode. I've been wanting to have her on for a while, and it was really good. It was excellent. So after that, okay, the next day on Friday, we did cowboy breakfast, which is you either ride horses to this area where they're making breakfast on an open fire, or you ride on the hay ride. And the people who are driving, like they put feed out, and all of these deer come out, and it is a sight to see, man. It is very, very cool. And we get out there, we do that, and my flight wasn't leaving until about 4:45. Okay. So after everything we were doing, because we do like open discussions and everything, and then there's awards, and then whoever is staying for lunch, we go to lunch. A lot of people end up splitting, they go to the airport. And again, I didn't have to board. No, let me take that back. I wasn't flying out until 4:45. I had to board at like 4:05 or something like that, 4:15. And so I stayed after, and I recorded about 20 minutes with my buddy Joe. just talking about some of the things that we were doing. I needed to get some video from him for some, and also some B-roll for a video that I'm putting together on that specific ranch that we were doing that session that week. When we were done and I left, dude, I so there were 3 people out of California, and it was Aldo, Christina, and Lindsay. They left before I did. Again, like I said, I recorded about 20 minutes worth of video with Joe. They didn't leave until their plane wasn't going to leave until about 6:00, but they were going early just to make sure that, there was plenty of time. And when I got there, I was hauling ass, but also there was construction. So the the lane that I needed to be able to get off to go into the San Antonio airport to drop off my rental, that's what the construction was. So it was 1 lane, and I was backed up like crazy. And I thought, I don't know that I'm going to make it in time for them to be able to get my bag on the plane. So as soon as I got off of the rental car, I'm running, and the guy goes, "Is email okay?" And I yelled back, "Yes," because it was with National, and so I needed to haul ass, and I'm just yelling like, "Yeah, email's fine." So I'm getting up there, and as I'm running to Delta to check my bag, I passed by those 3 folks that had left before me, and they were looking for Southwest, and I run right by them, and I hear them. Dispatch ear is always going, and I hear them say, "Well, I wonder where Southwest is," and it's like 2 down from Delta. I've been there enough times that I know. So I run by them, and I was like, "Hey, it's just right here. You're right next to it." And they're like, "Oh, thanks. Oh, hey." And they're like, "It's Ricardo." And I was like, "What's up?" And goodbye. Travel safe. And I'm just running with all of my stuff. I get up there, check the bag, and I get through security with enough time to be able to use the bathroom and buy a couple drinks. And I wasn't the last on the plane, but I think I was the middle on the plane. Holy crap, though. I was hauling ass to get to my plane, and I made it. Thank the Lord I made it. But it always makes for a funny story. But, at the time, I was freaking out. I was thinking I wasn't going to make it, but I did. I made it. Thank the Lord I made it. So check this out. So I fly back on a Friday. I get back around 9 at night. I drive from Detroit home here in Indiana, which is only about 2.5 hours. Spend the day with the family on Saturday. And then early in the morning Sunday, my newly 21-year-old Logan, because he turned 21 just a couple weeks ago, we take off because I've got back-to-back trips. And it's in Missouri. It is in Kansas City, Missouri. Mark 911, thank you very much for hosting me, but also especially for all of the 911 professionals who showed up from not only Missouri, but also Kansas in that region. And we're there. So here's the thing, though, is that I had, like I said, I had Logan with me, and he has not had enough hours fully driving and stuff. So I was like, "You're going to drive me all the way to Missouri." And he's like, "All right." And he did. Like it was almost a 10-hour drive with the stops and traffic and everything. Oh, man. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. The next morning was class. And I'm going to put this picture up on the screen. For those on TikTok, I apologize. I have shared the picture on my profile already in one of the videos. It's a bunch of pictures. So it's me and an emotional support animal that was there. And her name was Lola. Lola, the ESA dog. So I'm just going to put this on the screen here really quick. There we go. So in the picture, I'm like cheesing it, and Lola was licking my face. So here's the funny thing. My 13-year-old daughter's name is Lola. So I went through class, and one of the coolest things, though, also was the fact that Logan was there in class with me, and he was sitting with all of the attendees. And he's never heard me speak before. And he also got to experience Imagine Listening with everyone else. And I talked to him about it. I prepared him for it and told him what he was going to be hearing. But also if he felt like he needed to step out, to go ahead and do so. But then afterwards, we were going to be doing the lighthearted stories. And so he got to go through the 4-hour class with me, and he was blown away. He said that he wasn't sure if he was going to feel like, or maybe people would think, oh, he's not part of us, or he doesn't know, or whatever, because he was there and he's never dispatched before. And he's like, but I was wrong. Because I was sitting there with everyone, and I felt like I was part of the crew. Like I felt like I was part of everybody being there, listening to you go through all this. And then the Imagine Listening session, I said, what do you think about Imagine Listening? And he just goes, yeah, that was rough. That was pretty heavy. It's like, I've heard you talk about it before, but I wasn't expecting it, because I really needed to laugh during that last part. And then he says, you did really good. He goes, it was awesome to see you up there in your element. And he said he was proud of me. So thank you, buddy. And, but also he says, I can tell that you love what you do. And that is a great thing. And I said, yeah, I do. I do love what I do. Being able to teach, but also being able to help. Now, when professionals talk and get their stories out and their calls, and just letting them know that it's okay, that we're all in this together, and there's no shame in it. There's more courage than anything else. So it was cool to have him there. This picture here with Lola the dog, I sent this picture to my daughter Lola, and I said, look at this emotional support animal, this awesome dog. And she goes, oh, like in her text messages is just like, like, oh, this is so amazing. She's so cute. And I said, guess what her name is? And I said, it's Lola, just like you. And she goes, oh, it's my spirit animal. Which I thought was amazing. It was so funny. I loved every moment of that. Over here, whoa, what's up, JoJo? Latinos of 911 saying that's amazing he was able to see what you are passionate about. It definitely was. It was a really cool moment, and he got pretty choked up when I was talking about my grandmother and the call that I took. Of course, his great grandmother, he'd never heard the story told like that before with that much detail. So that was pretty eye-opening for him. And he said to me that, because it was really hard, Dad, to hear you tell the story about grandma and stuff, because he goes, I was pretty young when she passed away, but I remember her and I remember certain things. So, to hear you talk about her and tell the story and stuff, he goes, I was fighting it. He's like, I was holding back my emotion. And I said, man, you could have let it go. I said, but also, I couldn't make eye contact with you because I saw you getting emotional, and I'm the type of person that if I see someone getting emotional, I'll get emotional too. And I did. I let it flow a bit. Not hard, but enough where I was like, wiping my eyes, and I think he was too. And he's like, no, I felt comfortable to do it there in a room with people that I didn't know. He goes, it was that good the way you do it and the way everyone is in there that you can feel that it's a safe place. So it was really cool, the entire experience. So again, a big shout out to my good friend Pam and Mark 911 for bringing me out. I look forward to coming out again, and anyone who would like for me to come out, just reach out, and we'll work on things. But also, especially the 911 professionals of Missouri and Kansas that came out to be in the class, and it was awesome meeting all of you and having you there, having you share your stories, talking with you, and just spending 4 hours. It was great. It was awesome. So thank you guys very, very much. I've got 2 things left that I want to talk about before we wrap up here. One thing that I did while I was out was I put together what I wanted to talk about for a podcast trailer, and I'm going to put this on the screen over here. And for those over here on TikTok, I've posted the video already, and again, I'll put the headphones down here so that you can hear it. But as soon as I got home, I had to record this because I had this in my head, and I had to record this. So I'm going to play this for you. And this is the behind the scenes of what I did. Okay. That's why in the beginning, you'll hear me say something to the effect of that's the one, because I had recorded it a few times until I got the right one. And when you see the video, you can see on the screen on the right in the video where I was recording. You can see it because it's all, like I said, it's all done in real time, and I'm recording it as it's going. And we've got Alex over here that joined in on Instagram. What's up, dude? I was just talking a little bit ago about the ranch and everybody there, so it was good seeing you out there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and play this, and then I will talk about it here. So here we go. That's the one. That's the one. And scene. Imagine listening to someone's worst day every single day. Imagine listening as someone experiences life through their worst nightmare to the miracle of birth or a life saved. I'm Ricardo Martinez, a former 911 dispatcher, and for years, I've been recording the voices of a hidden world, ours. I've provided a space for 911 dispatchers to share their powerful stories. It started as a peer support session and continues. Dispatchers sitting together, sharing out loud, or writing down what they couldn't say. Some stories will grip you. Stories of heartbreak, resilience, and calls that haunt us long after the line goes quiet. But imagine listening is more than heavy emotion. It's about healing. It's about laughing through the chaos, lifting each other up, and reminding the world that dispatchers are human too. The lighthearted will balance the heavy. Experience the power of storytelling, a podcast for the thin gold line and those who want to understand it. This is Imagine Listening. Your worst day is our everyday. Subscribe now wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. So there you have it. There it is. Imagine Listening. That is the new podcast trailer for Imagine Listening. For over 8 years now, I've been doing this peer support session. And I've had these episodes, the sessions, that is, Imagine Listening, the first 30 minutes, its own episode. Open Mic, its own episode. And up until now, I have had it as kind of like bonus sessions that are part of Within the Trenches podcast. Well, I am now separating it. So all of the Imagine Listen sessions that I do will end up being on that standalone podcast. The reason I record them too is because there are a lot of people who have found those stories, the sessions, therapeutic. A lot of people who have said that they no longer feel alone, that they know that there's other people out there dealing with the same shit that they deal with. Some people saying that while they love the interview piece that has been part of Within the Trenches podcast for all of these years, over a decade, some people, they just want to hear the stories. So that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm separating them now. So what you'll end up hearing, and also I asked a ton of people, should I just have it all Imagine Listening, or should I have it Imagine Listening and then Open Mic, the way I have been doing it for 8 years now, over 8 years. So that's the way it's going to be. The first episode, I'm going to talk about how Imagine Listening started and talk about that first session and play clips and such. And then after that will be probably, most likely, the session that I just did recently at the Mayan Ranch. So it'll be that Imagine Listening session and then the Open Mic session. And I'm going to make sure to put in the intro of the Open Mic sessions why that funny part is there and why the light-hearted will balance the heavy, because people need it. These sessions are pretty heavy and they need that balance. So that's why it's going to be like that. And what I'm thinking of doing is I'll do, current, and then I'll do a classic episode, and then current, and then classic, and go back and forth, because the incident types may be the same, but the situation is always different. And there are over 8 years worth of stories to be shared for Imagine Listening. So again, the trailer is out there. And you can subscribe already. It's just the trailer at the moment, but in a few weeks, that first episode will go out. So make sure that you follow and subscribe so that you can get those episodes. It's up on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts. You can go and subscribe now. And I thank you for it. And if you love it, leave a 5-star rating, please, because that's what keeps it going. And thank you, all of you, for making Imagine Listening what it is today, and the I Am 911 movement what it is today. Thank you, everyone. So the last thing I want to do is I want to share a story with you. And I'm going to switch the audio piece over here. Okay, that's back where it's supposed to be. And I don't know why, but my gimbal over here for TikTok keeps going off balance a little bit. So hopefully it stays. So I've got a story to share with you. And this happened yesterday. Okay. This happened yesterday, and it was pretty scary. So this past weekend, and this is the reason why I didn't do open mic last night, is because of this. So yesterday, my daughter Lola and I drove my goddaughter back to Michigan, which from where I'm at in Indiana, it's about a 3-hour drive, depending on traffic. So it's not bad. It's not really that bad. The problem was that if you were in the Midwest, yesterday, storms were really, really, really bad. And random outbreaks from like tornadoes and such all over the place. I mean, even like even south coming up into the Midwest, there was a lot that was going on. So we drop her off, and we were going to stop at my dad's house on the way back because he hasn't been feeling well. So I was going to check up on him, and I called him, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm doing all right. You know, don't worry about it." And we're like, "Okay, well, I still kind of want to stop by." Well, it started raining pretty bad, and it was enough that we couldn't see. Visibility was not that great. So I call him up and I say, "You know what? I don't think we're going to stop because I think we need to just go." And he goes, "Yeah, don't worry. I was just going to tell you to just go because it's getting pretty bad." So we do. We take off. Now, there was a chunk of the beginning of our trip back where it actually wasn't even really, it was just like spitting rain. And we're like, "Oh, okay. Well, maybe it went by already and we'll be okay." So we keep going, and we get to an exit to be able to go south on US 131 going towards um Indiana, where we were going to go. It was like 131 to 94. And we get onto 131, and the rain is coming down harder, and I can see ahead of me that it looks bad. And I thought, hopefully it doesn't get any worse than this. Well, I was wrong. A little bit after we got on the highway going south, the area that we were just in, they set their tornado sirens off. So we were in an area where there wasn't a tornado watch or warning at the time, but we're hauling ass, we're going south on the highway, and we hit that wall that I was saying that looks scary. Visibility, 0. That's how bad it was raining. That's how super gray and dark it was. Cars all over the place, flashers going. From what we read, the wind was about 80 miles per hour. Yeah, 80 miles per hour. And it definitely felt like it. And I have an SUV, and it was shaking as we're driving. I had to slow down to about 35. Branches, debris just flying all over the place. And my daughter is being an amazing navigator and on her phone looking at the areas that are impacted where we're at. And she's freaking out. I'm trying to keep her calm as we're driving through this hell that's going on. Now, we're in my county, the county that I dispatched in. So I know people at almost every exit. One of the exits I couldn't get to. So we just keep going. And the reason I couldn't get to it is because there was cars that were already blocking the area or blocking that spot. So we continue going, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. And we're just going, and I'm like, just praying. We get to the city of Wayland in Michigan. We get off at that exit. I've got friends there as well. But I go to the nearest gas station right off of the exit there, and we're just sitting and we're waiting, and it's just going and going and going. And I just gave a little prayer, did something that my grandmother used to do to kind of cut the storm, so to speak, with prayer. And the craziest thing, just shortly after that, it started to die down and die down fast. And my daughter was like, I am so freaked out. Like, she was like, I'm shaking a little bit right now. And I was like, you're all right. You know, I pulled her in. I was like, we're okay. We're okay. We made it. We're okay. And we just sat there talking about the ordeal. And we were looking at the radar, and it was really bad. But it had already passed. Like, it was like that. It felt like 10 years, man, but it went by pretty fast. We stayed in that area for almost an hour because right next to us was a Culver's. Right next to us was a Culver's. And we had already planned on getting something to eat. So I said, let's get a burger or something. So we got some food and we sat in the back of that parking lot because it was right next door to the gas station that we were at. And we're eating the food, and I look at her and I said, you know, this could be a bad burger, but it tastes phenomenal. And she goes, I was just going to say that, Dad. It tastes like the most amazing thing I've ever had. And I said, it's because of what we just experienced. And we are sampling and enjoying life here together. And we're okay. And on the way, when we finally took off, on the way back, we were seeing all of the debris, all of the trees that were busted down, some right on the edge of the highway, mostly others in the ditch. There were billboard sign. There was one billboard sign that we saw that was ripped in half, just hanging. And what I will say, though, was that as we were coming home and we saw all of that, I looked to the right and I saw something. And I told my daughter to look. I was like, look, Lola, look, look, look. And we both were just in awe. She took a picture. I'm going to put it on the screen here. This is what we saw. For those on TikTok, I'm going to try to switch it here. This is what we saw. So, it was a crazy experience. But this is what I told her. And this is just something that I want to share with all of you as we go into the wrap up of this. I said to her, you know, that what we're seeing right now is kind of a reflection of life. And she's like, what do you mean? And I said, sometimes we go through trials and we go through storms. And sometimes it feels like it's never going to end, that we can't see what's in front of us, that there's so many things flying around us that sometimes we just need to stop and give ourselves the time to reflect and move forward. And what we're looking at right there is just a sign, the fact that throughout all the chaos, the sun will always break through. The sun will always set, and it will always rise to a new day. Sometimes you think you're not going to make it through. But you stick with it, and you'll make it. And then we just kind of sat there. As I'm driving, of course. She's like, I understand. And she took more pictures. And when we finally got home, we hugged, and I was like, I love you. I was like, we made it. We made it through that together. Sometimes it just takes a little faith and support. We can make it through anything. So, we haven't done open mic in a couple of weeks, but I think it was worth the wait. It definitely was for me. And I had so much fun with all of you tonight. So I just want to check in really quick as we're going into this wrap up. Where are you at now? Where are your numbers? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being shitty, 10 being awesome, where are you? I am way above a 10. And again, I'm just happy to be here with all of you, to be able to talk about so many things and just connect. So thank you, all of you, for being here today, for listening to what's been going on the past few weeks, but also this very last story, because it makes a lot of sense. Just a little faith and support, and we can make it through those obstacles. Whew. This live broadcast has been sponsored by InDigital, a leader next gen course services, and big shout out to subscribers as always, but especially all of you who've been watching, listening, supporting, and sharing, because I seriously would not be able to do any of this without all of you. So thank you for everything. And if you are going to be going to any of the conferences I'm at or the classes or anything, I would love to meet you. I would love to talk with you, all of that good stuff. So I hope to see all of you soon. And again, the Imagine Listening podcast is first episode is going to drop in a couple of weeks. The trailer is out there already right now. So make sure to like and subscribe, all that good stuff, and follow. And you'll be hearing that much more, because the Imagine Listening clips will end up going on my personal Facebook, my personal Instagram, and my personal TikTok right here on this. So make sure to follow, and you'll find everything there. And everyone who's on here on TikTok who's been throwing out the hearts and digging what I'm doing here, we're up to 1.5 thousand hearts, likes. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it more than you know. And if you have any comments, questions, or you ever want to be a guest on the flagship show, or just anything like that, if you ever had just, questions, whichever, you want to say hello, just simply go to links.co/WTT podcast. Once again, that is links.co/WTT podcast. You'll find everything there: email, social media, where to hear the latest episode, where to pick up the Imagine Listening books, where to pick up merch. The link is on there as well for the free community. Let's build that up. I'm trying to hit 1,000 members by National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, and that is the week of the 16th. That whole week that's going on will be National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. So if anything, at the very least, by the end of that week, to be able to get 1,000 members, that would be awesome. We are, I think, maybe at 550. So we've got a little ways to go, but man, we're over halfway there. I think we can do it. So that link is on there as well. Make sure to check that out. Also, podcast merch and everything is there. Links with two eyes, .co/WTT podcast, and you'll find it all there. This can be seen on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, as well as TikTok over here. And holy shit, we surpassed 2.2 thousand hearts. Yes, thank you. In clips all over the place. I have clips all over the place, so make sure to check all of that out. And then the flagship show can be heard 24/7 on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, your favorite podcasting app, and withinthetrenches.net. Have a good one, everyone. Good night, and I will see you all in the next one. Woo! Ric Flair.